Hello everyone, my name is Samantha and I am 31 years old. Currently, I am enjoying a comfortable life, and interestingly, this has nothing to do with my ex-husband or his mother. Let me share my journey with you, starting from the days I met my ex-husband, Terry, during our junior year in high school. Although we knew each other then, it wasn't until the tail end of our senior year that we began dating seriously. Despite the timing, with college on the horizon, Terry and I were committed to staying together, especially since we had plans to attend the same university. Terry was everything I could have hoped for in a partner. He understood me deeply, making me feel incredibly fortunate to have him. Our relationship was solid, marked by shared experiences and a lack of conflicts. After college, as our relationship grew more serious, Terry felt it was time for me to meet his mother, Karen. Given that Terry's father had passed away in a car accident early in his high school years, his mother held a significant place in his life. Despite knowing about me for 6 years, Karen's reception was far from warm when we finally met. She made it abundantly clear that she didn't approve of me, a sentiment that Terry and I couldn't understand. Karen's behavior towards me was rude and insulting, causing tension whenever Terry tried to defend me. To minimize the stress, Terry and I agreed that I should keep my distance from his mother. Professionally, I was thriving, having landed a lucrative job straight out of college thanks to my degree in a niche, higher-demand field. Terry's financial situation wasn't as robust, but we managed our expenses proportionally to our incomes, maintaining a happy equilibrium in our relationship. 4 years into focusing on our careers, Terry proposed, and we married the following year. It was a joyous occasion despite Karen's attempts to mar the celebration, which we managed with the help of security. 8 months into our marriage, the narrative took an unexpected turn, highlighting the resilience and independence I discovered within myself amidst the challenges posed by my relationship with Terry and his mother. Terry and I made the exciting decision to purchase an apartment together. Rather than taking on a lengthy mortgage for a house, we opted for an apartment, allowing us to avoid long-term debt. Thanks to my savings, we were able to afford a lovely 2-story apartment. Terry contributed as much as he could, and soon, we found ourselves stepping into our new home. We took our time making it feel like ours, decorating and furnishing it to our tastes. Once settled, we decided to host a housewarming party, inviting our families to celebrate with us. The event was joyous, filled with laughter and warmth, until a conversation with Karen, Terry's mother, took a turn. During the party, Karen inquired about the cost of our new home, assuming we were burdened with a mortgage. We explained that we had managed to save enough to buy the apartment outright, avoiding any loans. I mentioned that my income had played a significant role in our ability to purchase our home directly. Karen seemed shocked to learn that I earned significantly more than Terry, questioning if this fact bothered him. "Why should it?" I replied. "We both contribute to our home in different ways, and it doesn't matter who earns more as long as we're happy." Karen insisted that it was the man's duty to provide financially for the family, suggesting that my role in our financial arrangements was inappropriate. She argued that this setup would eventually lead to dissatisfaction and a sense of failure on Terry's part. However, we disagreed. "Our happiness and the way we support each other transcends traditional roles," I stated. "What matters is our mutual respect and how we contribute to our partnership, not just financially, but in every aspect of our life together." Karen also critiqued Terry for his involvement in household chores, implying it was beneath him. Yet, Terry and I saw things differently. We believed in sharing all responsibilities, rejecting the notion that certain tasks were reserved for one gender over the other. Our approach was built on equality and respect, valuing each other's contributions, whether financial or otherwise, equally. This foundation of mutual support and shared duties was, for us, the true essence of a partnership. In our home, I always aimed to create a peaceful and welcoming environment for Terry, especially after his long days at work. However, during a family gathering, Karen, Terry's mother, accused me of undermining Terry's masculinity with our lifestyle choices. Despite her comments, Terry and I maintained that we treated each other as equals in our relationship, and I suggested that Karen could either accept our dynamic and join us for dinner, or leave if she preferred. Her outdated views were almost amusing to us, and we even joked about them later, not taking her words to heart. At least, that's what I thought. However, as weeks turned by, it became apparent that Karen's words had left a deeper mark on Terry than I had realized. Her perspective, likely reinforced during his visits and calls with her, began to weigh on him. This became evident one weekend while we were discussing potential investments to further grow my savings. When I suggested Terry could consult his friends in finance for advice, his response was uncharacteristically evasive. Sensing something was wrong, I pressed for clarity, but Terry's frustration surfaced. He accused me of flaunting my wealth and making extravagant purchases, expressing that such actions made him feel undervalued. Surprised and concerned, I realized this was a deeper issue, potentially spurred by Karen's comments. Terry admitted that his mother's words had been festering in his mind, leading him to feel overshadowed by my financial success. I was taken aback, realizing the importance of addressing his feelings directly. It was clear we needed to have an open discussion about our financial dynamic, ensuring that our relationship remained a space of mutual respect and understanding, not competition or insecurity. Our conversation aimed to reinforce that our love and respect for each other were not contingent on financial contributions. Instead, our partnership was about support, shared goals, and lifting each other, regardless of who earned more or who spent more. This incident underscored the need for continuous communication and reassurance in our relationship, ensuring that external opinions did not undermine the equity and harmony we had worked so hard to build. Hearing Terry express that my financial contributions made him feel inadequate was heart-wrenching. I immediately reassured him that my intentions were never to overshadow him, but to enhance our shared experiences, emphasizing that his presence was all I ever wanted. Despite this, Terry conveyed a desire for a more balanced financial partnership, including more modest dates and equal contributions to our expenses. He believed this would alleviate his feelings of inadequacy. Initially, I struggled to grasp why Terry would prefer a lifestyle that could potentially limit our experiences due to financial constraints. Nevertheless, respecting his wishes was paramount, so I agreed to his proposal, hoping it would bring him the satisfaction he was seeking. As the months passed under this new arrangement, I found myself with an excess budget, which I chose to save or invest rather than spend conspicuously. This was done out of consideration for Terry, aiming not to exacerbate his feelings. Meanwhile, Terry faced difficulties adjusting to the more constrained budget, leading him to cut back significantly on personal expenses, even to the point of skipping meals, despite the fact our home was well stocked with food. He stubbornly refused to use anything I purchased, a decision that frustrated me deeply. Yet, I remained patient, waiting for him to address his struggles with me directly. Unexpectedly, it was Karen who reached out, contacting me during work to express concern over Terry's well-being. She accused me of causing Terry's hardships, a claim that took me by surprise. How could providing a comfortable home and being willing to adjust our lifestyle at Terry's request be seen as harmful? This situation underscored a complex dynamic, where intentions to support and uplift were misinterpreted as dominance or disregard. It highlighted the importance of open, ongoing dialogue to navigate the delicate balance between independence and partnership, and the need to reassess our approach to ensure both partners feel valued and heard. When Karen accused me of causing Terry's financial strain, implying that I was somehow benefiting from his money, I was bewildered. She suggested that my comfort was at the expense of Terry's well-being, a notion I found absurd. Terry himself had proposed an equal division of our expenses, a request I respected to support his need for a sense of equality and independence within our relationship. Contrary to Karen's accusations, I had not flaunted my financial situation, nor taken advantage of Terry's contributions. My love for Terry meant I desired nothing but his happiness and fulfillment, not a competition for resources. Karen's confrontation was baseless, fueled by misconceptions, and perhaps her insecurities or prejudices about our financial dynamics. I firmly believed in Terry's and my partnership, grounded in mutual respect and understanding, not a tally of who spent more. The accusation that I had influenced Terry negatively was particularly hurtful, considering my efforts to accommodate his wishes, aiming for a harmonious balance between our desires and financial realities. Upon returning home, I felt it crucial to address the situation directly with Terry, sharing the content and tone of the conversation with his mother. I stressed the importance of open communication between us, expressing my disappointment in the lack of direct dialogue from him about any financial or personal discomfort he was experiencing. Terry's subdued apology, however, lacked the engagement I hoped for, leaving me disheartened by his seemingly indifferent stance. Given the strain this situation had placed on our relationship, I proposed reverting to our previous financial arrangement, hoping it might alleviate the tension and restore some balance. Terry's noncommittal response further frustrated me, but, exhausted from the circular discussion, I chose to let the matter rest for the time being. In the months that followed, there was a noticeable shift. Terry appeared more content, and our relationship seemed to move towards a better place. This improvement suggested that despite the challenges and misunderstandings, there was still room for growth and reconciliation. It underscored the complexities of marital dynamics, especially when external influences, such as family opinions, intersect with personal values and financial decisions. The experience reinforced my belief in the necessity of direct, honest communication and mutual support as the bedrock of a healthy relationship. As our relationship seemed to be mending, and the quiet absence of Karen was a relief, I believed we were navigating our way back to solid ground. I had gently suggested to Terry that it might be best to limit discussions about our finances with his mother, considering the tension it had previously caused. For a while, it seemed he understood and agreed, but I was soon to discover that wasn't the case. One evening, Terry came to me with a heavy heart, indicating he needed to discuss something significant. He revealed he had been in conversation with his mother again, which led him to a drastic conclusion. He wanted a divorce. The reason? He felt diminished by the financial dynamics of our relationship, troubled by the traditional expectation that he, as the man, should be the primary provider. Terry expressed concern over how our arrangement might appear to outsiders, comparing himself to his friends who were the main or sole financial providers in their families. He felt belittled and ridiculed for not fulfilling this conventional role, despite my reassurance that our happiness and comfort were what truly mattered. Terry's perspective had been heavily influenced by outdated societal norms and the harsh judgment he perceived from others, even though I pointed out the reality that many of his friends faced financial strain, whereas we enjoyed a more comfortable lifestyle. His decision seemed fueled by a mix of pride, societal pressure, and Karen's influence, leading him to view our financial partnership as a blow to his masculinity. When I suggested counseling as a means to address and work through these issues, Terry flatly refused, convinced that ending our marriage was the only solution to restore his sense of self. This moment was a painful realization that despite our shared life and the love that had once bound us, external pressures and ingrained societal expectations could drive a wedge too deep to mend. Terry's firm stance on divorce, spurred by his discomfort with our financial dynamic, and his mother's opinions, underscored the profound impact that traditional gender roles and external judgments can have on personal relationships, even in the modern world. Heartbreak was an understatement for what I felt when Terry decided that our differing financial contributions were grounds for divorce, after a decade together. It seemed inconceivable that our long journey could end over something as superficial as who earned more. Despite every instinct urging me to fight for us, I recognized the futility of trying to sway Terry's decision once his mind was set. Following through with the divorce, I watched, hollowed by grief, as Terry signed the papers with Karen smirking beside him, a painful testament to her influence over him. A part of me, wounded and bitter, wished momentarily that Terry would face hardships without me, just to realize the value of what he had relinquished. However, I dismissed such vindictive thoughts, striving instead to handle the situation with grace. I attempted to leave the apartment to Terry, hoping to offer him some stability, but he rejected it, viewing it as a token of the very success he resented. His refusal only deepened my sorrow, showcasing the extent of Karen's impact on his perspective. Leaving the apartment and all its memories of Terry behind, I chose to rent it out, turning a painful chapter into a source of passive income. Fortune seemed to look kindly upon me thereafter, blessing me with a promotion that brought a significant salary increase and numerous benefits. Within months, I had saved enough to fulfill a long-time dream, buying a mansion. This achievement, once envisioned as a shared milestone with Terry, now stood as a testament to my independence and strength. Embracing my newfound freedom, I indulged in the luxury and success I had earned, free from the guilt previously cast by our financial disparity. My life flourished, untethered by the constraints of trying to diminish my achievements for the sake of someone else's comfort. Surprisingly, 8 months post-divorce, Terry and Karen appeared at my doorstep. The sight of them, once a source of deep love and subsequent pain, now evoked a complex mixture of emotions. Their visit, aimed at reconciliation or perhaps redemption on their part, found me in a place of strength and self-assurance. Terry's apology, while perhaps sincere, came too late. The path we once shared had diverged irreparably. With politeness but firmness, I acknowledged his regret without allowing it to disturb the peace and success I had built in his absence. The past, with its joys and heartaches, remained behind me, a foundation upon which I had built a new and fulfilling life. Feeling a mix of surprise and exasperation at their sudden appearance and requests, I listened as Terry and Karen shared their plight. The irony of their situation wasn't lost on me. Terry, once adamant about severing ties over financial principles and pride, now faced the harsh realities of financial independence and struggle. His admission of hardship and regret was a vindication of my warnings, which he had once so readily dismissed for his mother's counsel. I couldn't help but reflect on Karen's role in our separation. Her intentions, however misguided, had driven a wedge between us, prioritizing societal perception over her son's happiness and well-being. Her appeal for reconciliation, couched in an apology, seemed driven more by their current needs than a genuine understanding of the pain their actions had caused. Their request for me to take Terry back, after everything that had transpired, was bewildering. My life, in the time since our divorce, had flourished, unburdened by the constraints of Terry's insecurities and Karen's interference. I had discovered a sense of freedom and self-worth that was previously stifled by their expectations and judgments. The suggestion that I could or should support them financially after they had chosen to leave the stability and love I offered was astonishing. Karen's direct plea for financial help, despite her pivotal role in our breakup, highlighted the desperation of their situation, but also the persistence of their inability to fully grasp the consequences of their decisions. Standing at my door, they were no longer the family I had once cherished, but reminders of the lessons I had learned about self-respect, independence, and the importance of choosing partners who value and support me as an equal. My refusal to revert to our previous dynamic wasn't out of spite, but a recognition of my growth and the need to protect the peace and success I had achieved. Their visit closed a chapter in my life, affirming my decision to move forward alone but stronger, focused on my happiness and well-being, free from the shadows of past expectations and disappointments. When Terry and Karen stood at my doorstep asking for financial support, I was taken aback by their audacity. They had contributed to the breakdown of our marriage by criticizing my success and financial contributions. Their request for help now, after everything that had happened, was audacious. I had spent years building a comfortable life for myself, a life that Terry had once shared but chose to leave over misguided notions of masculinity and influence from his mother. Their plea for sympathy, citing our decade-long relationship, seemed ironic given the circumstances of our split. Terry had decided that my higher earnings diminished his role, choosing pride over our partnership. This decision made it clear that our values and visions for the future were irreconcilably different. His departure, influenced by Karen's views, had freed me to achieve even greater success, unburdened by their narrow expectations. Their return, seeking assistance, only highlighted the growth and self-reliance I had cultivated in their absence. It reinforced my belief in my worth and the importance of being valued in a relationship, not for financial contributions, but for mutual respect and support. The thought of reverting to a dynamic where I was not appreciated was unacceptable. The backlash from some family members and friends, following my refusal to help, was an expected outcome. Yet, it did not shake my resolve. I suggested that those who felt compelled to help could do so themselves, underscoring my detachment from Terry and Karen's current predicament. This entire episode has been a reaffirmation of my journey towards self-discovery and independence. The younger version of myself might have yielded to guilt or pressure, but the person I've become knows the value of self-respect and the necessity of being with someone who genuinely understands and shares those values. Now, embracing my singlehood for the first time in years, I'm focused on enjoying life and the freedoms that come with being unattached. This period of my life is about exploration, indulgence in the joys that life has to offer, and appreciating my own company. It's a time for personal growth, reflection, and enjoying the luxuries that my hard work has afforded me. Thank you for lending an ear to my story.